Let's learn about scope. In a program, the scope of a variable indicates how long that variable is available. This is also known as the lifetime or visibility of a variable. Variables defined at the top level are known as global variables. Once a variable is defined, it is available on subsequent lines. That variable lives until the end of the program. Each function has its own local scope. Variables defined as parameters or within a function live until the function ends. These are local variables. Variables defined in one function are not available outside the function. This simplifies the reading of any function. You only need to worry about things defined in the function itself. Functions return values, not variables. This is so important, I'm going to say it again. Functions return values, not variables. A variable has a value, so when you write a statement like the one shown, you're returning the variable's value, not the variable itself. The variable disappears after the function ends, so returning the value is the only way to make it available. Beginners will sometimes try to reuse a variable name. Any global variables with the same name are actually unrelated to the variable inside the function. On this slide, I have drawn squares around local variables and circles around global variables. It is technically possible to read a global variable inside a function. However, you should not do so. Every time you refer to global variables, your program becomes more complicated, and you have to think about multiple levels of scope. In this code example shown here, the unit test would fail if we swap the order of the last two lines. This may work out okay in smaller programs, but it causes huge problems as you start writing longer programs. Whenever you feel the urge to use a global variable, stop and reconsider. The only exception is if you are 100% certain that the global variable's value will still stay constant and never change. Here is a simple pair of rules for working with scope. Variables inside a local scope should not be used outside that scope. Variables outside a local scope should not be used inside that scope. Keeping those two rules in mind will avoid many headaches.